Sorry, Mr. Grant, go ahead.
To the Chief Executive Officer's Performance Review Panel, and that the panel proceed with the process of review as soon as possible. Schedule F of the CEO's current employment agreement requires that Council appoint a performance and remuneration review panel to oversee the performance and remuneration process. Subject to the agreement of the CEO, an external human resources agency may, but not necessarily, be engaged to conduct the review process. It's at his discretion. Notwithstanding that 4 external HR agencies have been requested to provide quotations to undertake the requirements of Schedule F of the agreement, the engagement of any one of the agencies to undertake an external assessment for the 2015-16 review period is subject to the consent of the CEO. That is, in other words, the CEO has the power of veto. Under the heading Budget Implication, as set out on the first page of the report from Mr. Blair, the HR manager, that constitutes Agenda Item 16.3.1, that is on page 331 of the agenda, elected members are informed that there may be a budget implication, that is a cost, if it is agreed by them that an external agency be involved in the review on this occasion. I believe the budget implication described immediately above is a thinly veiled attempt to indirectly influence elected members to forego the external process in favour of an internal review process for completely imprudent financial cost-saving reasons. It is my personal and professional opinion as a Fellow of the Australian Institute of Human Resources, a Fellow of the Australian Institute of Management, a Fellow of the Australian Institute of Company Directors, and holding a Master of Science degree in Human Resource Management and a Bachelor of Business majoring in Personnel and Industrial Relations, that the proposed CEO performance and remuneration review process is patently improper and presents a substantial lack of transparency and potential for conflict of interest between the CEO and his employer, the community of the City of Victor Harbor. My question, therefore, to increase the degree of transparency and fairness and to decrease the perception or bias or conflict of interest in this matter, will elected members undertake to direct that the performance and remuneration review in question be outsourced to an external human resources agency that in the last 7 years has had no significant professional engagement with either the City of Victor Harbor or any of its staff?
Thank you for your question. Thank you for your applause. I think you'll find the answer is pretty open and transparent. I'll ask Kate to carry on with that. Thank you.
Your Worship, just in terms of, I guess, some response.
Microphone, please.
It's on, I must be close enough to it. Thank you, Your Worship. I think perhaps there's some little bit of misunderstanding. I hope to provide some clarity. Schedule F, which is in the agenda, is part of a contract, so that's probably the first point that needs to be understood. And it is normal practice for employees to be a part of their review package. That's certainly it's not just for our CEO, it's for all employees. And it is up to the Council in terms of how the review panel is formed, and the decision to engage a HR practitioner is, yes, it's correct that it's subject to agreement by the City Manager, but that's or the CEO now. That's a two-way process, so it may actually also work the other way in that the Council might be proposing that they're just going to do the review internally, and the CEO may actually make the request that they would like an external HR practitioner to be involved. And I agree what Mr. McRae's saying in terms of there's a right of veto, but it's not as if it's not to be it's understood that the CEO can just say no to all of the HR practitioners. There may be one that they say, well, actually I have a knowledge and I know that particular practitioner, and say well, that perhaps wouldn't be appropriate, as opposed to picking and choosing the HR practitioner. Checking the actual question. And in terms of asking the council the actual specific question of outsourcing, going to an agency not used in the last 7 years, I would think the prudent thing would be for council to follow its procurement policy as per normal, not to agree to some new particular rules regarding this particular procurement process.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Gray.
Thank you. It's interesting that this is unique to Victor Harbour. It's very, very interesting.
Thank you for your comments.